Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I'm Giovanni. I'm a part from the duo Schrotthagen. We are doing cinematic techno and trance, and we formed our duo around 2 years ago now, 2.5 years. It was all by accident because, we were just in the studio, sitting there and writing film scores and music for art house movies and every genre. And we had to produce every style that's required for television, and it's almost every style. So you're used to produce like every genre, and and how did it came that we started Cinematic Techno? It was all around 9 years ago when I knocked at my partner's door, Dieter. He's my mentor, and I wanted to learn about how to write music for movies. And then he said to me, I can come in and basically learn from him how to compose to picture, to capture emotion, and especially to become one with the movie and the story. And that's what it's also all about. It's about the story. Cinematic techno is about telling stories, not with a picture, but the basic idea is to create the picture in your head while you're listening to it. And we had to produce a scene for a techno club 2.5 years ago, and then I filmed Dieter while he was checking the last mixing steps, and then I put it on TikTok just for fun. We didn't know what we were doing, and then it went viral. And people started to ask for the track, and it was something new, but we didn't know that we were creating something new because we didn't know what we were doing at all. And so the whole idea started, and this project was born, and then we felt something new in it, that was freedom. Musical and creative freedom, because normally when you work on movies you're kind of restricted to the story and the picture. It's beautiful, but sometimes you're limited with ideas, and now we can create and tell our own stories. And we're working through different themes that are inspiring us, and about stories that we want to talk about. And I brought today some tracks from our upcoming album. It's called Nostalgie und Traurigkeit, and in this we are referring to the Romantic era, which is about the nature, the power of the nature, and maybe the basic idea is that we humans are very little in this whole world and in the universe, and in one point the world will change, and maybe nature is taking back what belongs to nature. And I will show you the intro first, and it's without beat. It's a cinematic intro. First track is called Dämmerung, and for us it was that there's something like it's awakening. Thank you. Yeah, that was basically the intro where we want to set up the world, where yeah, the scenery and everything's playing, and we are starting for the album concept at the beginning to think about what we want to tell with the album, and we want to be on story. So it's at first yeah, this huge world, it opens, it should yeah, be from the perspective of a human being that is going through a huge world, and basically you are the main character while listening to this music. So we want to yeah, to refer to movies where there's a soundtrack written for specific characters. This soundtrack is written for you while you're listening to it, and when you walk through the streets or living your life, then this score should enhance maybe your life or your emotions when you connect to it, and it makes the yeah, it should elevate the emotion that you already have in yourself. And that's also what we are trying to do on the dance floor, is to make everything so real, and the emotions, we are trying to capture the emotions very strong, so that you get to a cathartic moment of emotions when, yeah, where you can let go and like free yourself. It's yeah, all about receiving, and also to yeah, grab the energy and yeah, to let go and not to yeah, feel cool or on the dance floor while dancing. It's just about, it's about you and then connecting. And yeah, and we are using very often organic instruments in our productions. We are going to flea markets, and we are looking where we can find instruments with soul, also broken instruments that we fix then, and then we are recording them, flipping the samples, and yeah, creating a specific sound design, because also when you have a specific movie in mind that you like the soundtrack, maybe when you think about a sci-fi movie, then you have a specific sound character that reminds you in the first seconds of the movie. It's like a siren or yeah, a specific sound. It's and yeah, on this we're working a lot, basically the whole time, when we say, okay, that's the story and the character that we want to yeah, elevate, then how could this character sound like? And for example, we have another track from the album that's called Tote Erde. It means like dead world. And we were sitting in the studio and asking ourselves, how could this sound like, and how could it possibly feel to walk in a in an empty space with dunes and huge storm full of venom, and feeling alone with the mask because you can't breathe, and how could this possibly sound like? And yeah, I show you the track, and maybe Yes, so that you maybe get an idea and yeah, of how it sounds like you can't breathe. We recorded us breathing heavily with a high pass filter on the track and build it in, so you have this sound like, and yeah, we're playing with that a lot, and also with tension and release. For us, it's all about the build up and yeah, and letting go the dramaturgical elements, because when you build up a track really slowly, then the expectation of the listener is increasing, and then on a high moment of energy, then you can cut everything away. And one big lesson that I had is that silence is also an instrument. When you take everything away and then you maybe just let a little string, then the tension, it's going to explode almost, and then you can release everything in one moment, and then you can release it, and it's overwhelming at the same time, but when you prepare it the right way, it feels just right. And on this technique we are working a lot, and that's how you do music for trailers, and yeah, that you're playing with the expectation. And then what is happening when you listen more and more to the track, then this maybe kind of confusing breaks, you get used to them, and then you can play more in with the details of the sound, and it allows you to add many elements in your production. Our productions are for this track, for example, like 200 or 250 layers of sounds that we are recording, and and we are changing them and rearranging them. And but this might sound a lot, but we are working really fast and intuitive. And then after the session in one day, mostly is then the whole track finished. And that's also a big point. What's for us very important, because we are only during one day in this specific feeling, and when we're not finishing this track at that day, it changes completely the other day, because when you wake up and you feel different, then the vibe is going to change, and it's a different track, then a different emotion. That's why we try to finish every track in one day. And there are many like challenges, but we also really don't know what we're doing sometimes, and we're just trying to do it by the feeling when it feels right. Our arrangements are not like the usual arrangements or how you are expecting a techno track to be, and this makes it also a bit difficult while playing live, because we are so tonal. We sometimes need to compose when we are going to play it live a new part that's managing, so we can manage to transpose from maybe the C minor key to Fis major, and this is kind of tricky sometimes, and this could be a limiter, but for us it's fun to play with transitions and that people don't realize, oh yeah, the scale is changing, and that's kind of a challenge that we really like. And also maybe another point that is quite different, our last music video and also the new music video which we're shooting the next days. That's why Dieter, my partner, can't be here, because we need to prepare. We are shooting the music video first, and then we are composing the track for it, like the other way around, because the first time we had a track, then we shot a music video, and then we were sitting there and it felt so off. It felt like the track is not matching with the video, and so we canceled everything, and yeah, we sat there, and and then this was the moment that our track "Pain in My Heart" was created for the music video. And this weekend we're shooting a dirt race, which is also kind of crazy. It's going to mirror a society that's in a state of mind that it's all about consumption and egoism, and that the individuals don't value anymore. And yeah, this is going to be something that we need to figure out. But yeah, on this journey there are so many possibilities, and this genre is kind of new, so we don't have some one way how we can do it. We are trying and experimenting a lot, also with vocals. And we had like 3 months ago a session with a singer, and he came into the studio, and I showed him the track, and he was like, yeah, I really know what to do and stuff. And he sang on the first take like super great melodies, but the text and the story that he wrote was not telling anything. So we were there the whole night just writing on the beat and just telling a story about a person that's wandering through a city that is really dark. Nobody cares about another, and this character used to be an individual in the world before that was a really charismatic person that had power and charisma, and now he's lost in this world because nobody cares anymore about anyone, and everybody's selfish. And that's kind of the theme from this album. And it's also about the industry and how art is bought, and because there are the people who are doing art and there are the people who are consuming art, and how everything's built up. The system is, you can debate about it, but I will show you the track. And this track is called Wechselbalg. By the way, all our titles are in German. And it should be what's the English word for Märchen? Yeah, a fairy tale, a dark fairy tale.
Once upon a time, in a place that never changed, when the streets were full of love, there was love and also pain. Now these streets are shadows of the past, empty faces and self-driven cars, so they're fading away. people hide in all the scars. No space for charm and broken hearts in the age of mental waste. Rotten by some sign of blame. Fallen angels rise again. Feel the pressure in my veins. Wealthy people buying art, while desperate artists try to chart as a symptom to be named. I thought I was a cannibal in the realm of carnivores. Before we came and told me how they rule the world and fold apart.
Yes, and yeah, here we can listen to many elements that we are also incorporating a lot from the classical music. This track is a bit inspired by the composer Ravel, and yeah, we are listening a lot to classical music. I started as a kid as a classical pianist, and all my scores are also very classical. And Dieter, he's now 63, he was a punk guitarist, and we tried to incorporate all those elements in one. So we have on the one hand the melodic stuff and the composition that comes first. Also the beat is the last thing that we add. And then from Dieter's perspective, there's coming in the mindset and also the punk character from him, and together we try to build a new sound that it's sturdy and also beautiful, and nice chords, maybe chord progressions that on the first hand sound off, or when you play like two notes together, then there is something they are fighting against each other. And so we did in this track, there are like two different scales at the same time, so it creates an elevating, uplifting atmosphere. And in the club, this is also a really high BPM track, but it doesn't feel so fast. That's what we try to do. Our tracks are around 160 BPM, sometimes higher, but they don't feel so fast. That's maybe because we try to incorporate the sound design, and the kick is not the loudest element in some tracks, of course, but we are trying also during the live set to make the bridge between melodic parts when you can drift away, and ecstatic moments where you can also scream and jump. And sometimes I start to cry. This started also with the project, because before I don't remember when I cried, but something in me is working during the shows. I don't know why. and in some tracks, in some moments, it's coming out because there's so much emotion going on, and it's very important to let go, and also to show the people that it's very important to let go, and we try to find a bit of peace in this 2 hours while playing live, and to forget and to really delve into another world that's not this world. Yeah. And before we can come to questions, I wanted to show you also the outro from the album. We recorded around 200 animals and made a track so we can show what we will have lost in the future. And yeah, so it's a bit of a dark theme, but yeah, I don't know if there's a happy end, but we don't know. Yes, thank you so much. Are there any questions or words? Yes.
How important is it for the technical aspect, the speakers? Because I know the cinematic style with the stereo and everything, it needs good speakers and everything. And what do you use for this, or do you use any room software, like a tool where you can do the audio? Yeah.
That's a good question. We are working on really not shitty speakers. I really love them. We are producing on the Yamaha HS7. They're really basic, and because we really know them, I started with them. And the importance is that you really know your speaker. After like 5 years, I bought really expensive speakers because I thought, yeah, I need to level up the studio and the equipment. But then I listened to the music and I couldn't tell anything anymore because it felt so different. And what we are doing, we are creating the music, and then from the movies, I have a lot of friends who are, for example, working with Ari, and we are giving them the stems, and they have a Dolby Atmos studio, and they kind of found this project interesting. And then for the last album, we did a complete Dolby Atmos mix, and so it's like crazy on headphones or specific speakers in cinemas, but with the live aspect, when you play normal shows, then it will also work because we are not going to play maybe this outro or the intro from the beginning. It's like more driven into the dance aspect, so it's kind of different from the listening experience. We are also incorporating in the sets more trancy, bouncy vibes, also hard techno elements, so that the vibe is getting crazy. But yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. Are there other questions? Yeah, we are using everything for the. We played in Buenos Aires 3 weeks ago, or 4 weeks, I don't know. And our friend who sang "Pain in My Heart," I was asking her, "Can you send me a voice message via WhatsApp where you can say Hola Buenos Aires? We're here to dance with you." And yeah, we're using a lot of shitty microphones because they sometimes have a specific vibe, and also trashy instruments. It's not about the quality, but it's about how the end product feels. When it can feel super, extremely nostalgic, what can touch. And yeah, so yeah, we are, for vocals, we're using a standard Rode mic for 300 euros. It's super nice from day one. Yeah. And then we are messing around with it. So we are not the most technical producers. We are only about the vibe and how it sounds like. Sometimes it can really get to my head while figuring out how we should process something, but yeah, we are messing around till it's nice. And then, yeah, the basic stuff we know, of course. Are there any more? Yes.
You said you are finishing like a track in one day. Do you mean like the production process or also the mixing process and mastering, or is it, yeah?
Every time when we're producing, we are mixing at the same time. For us, it's super important to do the mix simultaneously. And after a couple of days listening to it, then it goes to the mastering. Of course, there are then some small changes of volume and stuff, but we are not adding any new element at all. But the mixing we're doing ourselves, and the mastering with the last album we started to source out because it's a whole different art. And yeah, we are really not the pros in that. But it's very important to find people who understand this kind of music and your music style, because yeah, for this one it has to be very dynamic, especially for string parts or vocal parts. You can't push the limit that hard because otherwise you will compress everything too much and then it sounds yeah, just too linear, and yeah, there's no emotion going on. Thank you so much.